Hey folks, welcome back to the Darren Harris Podcast. I am your host, Darren Harris. This is episode 18. If you are just joining me, thank you very much. If you are returning to listen, I got a bit of a surprise today. My podcast, I usually, if you've been listening, I break it down into segments and I have some format to it or whatever. But today, I'm ditching the format just for today, and I have I have my wife on again. And today we're going to be discussing something that we have been talking about. Her and I have been talking about for well over a year, and beyond, and before we even met each other. So this is why, it was a very big decision. It was not taken lightly, and we want to, we want to give it the college try. So I want to go ahead and introduce my wife to the podcast. Hey, babe, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
You're talking to me like we're in the office now.
I know. I just wanted to say hello.
Are you be like sleeping and shit? Like, it's late.
Well, wait. First, let's start with that. Yes, I am tired. We have been through a lot this week. So what Darren's trying to say is that we purchased an RV.
Yeah, let's just cut to the chase and just I was trying to have some build up, and she just was like, "Yeah, just put it on out there." We have decided to purchase a. What did we get?
We have a 2004 Winnebago 30B Sightseer.
Class A.
Class A.
Very good, babe.
Color white.
Yes, that's true. So, what made you want to change your living and lifestyles?
The high-ass rent prices.
Yeah, amen to that shit.
Yeah. I'm over it right now.
Well, I think a lot of people, I've seen that, and that's, if you guys are not familiar with this, it's getting hard to find an RV because so many people have turned to RVing because of what's happening in the country as far as the bullshit housing market right now. So,
right. Well, that's one of the reasons I decided to do it, or I've been wanting to do this, is the high rent prices. But also, I like to travel, and I'm adventurous and spontaneous. So it gives us some kind of freedom.
Where have you been?
I've been everywhere. Well, not really everywhere, but I've been up east. I've been north. So when I say east, I've been to Canada, I've been to New York, Pennsylvania, and then I've been to Ohio, obviously Florida. Where I do want to take a trip is out to California. I haven't been out that way.
Well, I used to live in California, and our oldest son, actually my son, her stepson, lives in Los Angeles. But I used to live in San Diego when I was younger, so I am very familiar with California, and it's very much conducive to this lifestyle, this lifestyle choice, or this living choice. So what's going on is, like I was mentioning before, there are people who are leaving their conventional brick and mortar lifestyle. They're renting the apartments or purchasing and buying a mortgage, and they're moving into motorhomes and traveling and seeing the world. And there are some pros and there are some cons to this lifestyle. For real pros and cons to this lifestyle, which we have already began to experience. So,
that's a different episode because actually.
Well, what happened? Tell them what happened.
Well, no, because we're going to have a video on it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, you have to. We're gonna have a video on it, so you're gonna have to tune in. But and I'll let you guys know in later episodes where to tune in to catch the video. It's probably gonna be on our YouTube or something like that. But that's pretty much where we can drop it in your inbox if you like. But no, it's probably gonna be on our YouTube. So definitely stay tuned as to what happened on our first day owning this RV. So. But like I was saying, there are some challenges to this lifestyle. There are some very steep challenges to this lifestyle. It can be very rewarding though, and very fulfilling as well. And that's.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, that's accurate because I feel like some people feel like, okay, is this the right choice? Did you guys make the right choice? And I don't think of it as a negative thing. Actually, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, I am nervous. It is bringing me out of my comfort zone because you have to, you have to downgrade. You can't take everything. We
Right.
live in a one bedroom right now. I'm telling you, half of the stuff does not fit in the RV, but it's okay because I'm going to speak for myself. What I get out of it is freedom,
Right.
and I wanted to make sure that, he felt the same way because I like to travel. I
Right.
like to have some kind of freedom. And honestly, right now, things are just so crazy. Sometimes you got to take a step back and just enjoy life. And I feel like lately things have been just so hectic, just in general, that we just lose sight of what really it is. It's living, not stressed out. And I just feel like this is going to help out.
That's a good point. I mean, and like you said, there's so many factors, that are contributing to so many negative effects, in everybody's life, in everybody's day-to-day life. And, I think of this, the reason why I chose to do this. And like you said, you were hoping that, I was into it, but I was definitely into it. And this was, and I'll let you know, folks, if it wasn't an RV, it was going to be a boat. So we are.
Yeah, I don't know how to swim, so yeah.
See, we're gonna knock that out though, but and like it still may be a boat, and that's what we are. We want to. We don't want to just work and die, man, and that's really what everybody is geared towards now. You're just working to pay rent or working to pay mortgage. I mean, not everybody can afford to come down and I've spoke about it in another podcast, so I won't really get into it. But not everybody can afford to come down and just lay down straight up cash for a home. And it's discouraging when you really kind of want a home, but you're not able to find one because of the inventory or, you just don't have the money, like everybody else has the money. You get outbid and then all of a sudden you just get bitter and you're discouraged. So this was one of the things that I figured would alleviate a lot of those feelings, like if we had an RV, like I said, our RV is, our payment is considerably less than rent. And it's also a lot less than, it's a lot less than mortgage and than a mortgage also. However, there are some cons to that. There's going to be maintenance and upkeep and things of that nature. Things are going to break and we're not, and listen to this, it's not just the two of us. We're doing it with our dogs. We have 3 dogs. And if you listen to my podcast, you know that one of my 3 dogs weighs as much as I do. She's a 178-pound Great Dane, sweet as pie. And that's her name, Pie. But, she is making the trek with us because we can't leave her behind. So, but I also think that it would be good for them as well because we can have a different front yard every day.
Right. I mean, there's, like you said, there's gonna be like some, there's gonna be some cons and then there's gonna be pros. I'm excited. I'm ready to take this adventure and go. I was nervous at first, but now I'm excited. The more that I think about it, is like, yeah, let's go. We can, like you said, we can wake up at the beach. In a month from now, we'll be at the beach. Okay.
Right, and there's things that places that we can go. I mean, we got it from a reputable place. I'll go ahead and shout out Camping World. We got it at Camping World, and they gave us a book that had a bunch of coupons and, listed a place. We got a coupon with a bunch of free places to camp, like where we could go camp for 21 days free. And, and there have been some people that have been skeptical about it, but then there's been also, a huge outpouring of support from our friends and family. There are some people who are of course, afraid for us, and they should be, and it's okay. There's also people that think that we're just going to fail miserably, and that's okay too, but I look at it like this, is sit here and pay rent or, or go
live a little bit, live a little bit. And I mean, we all work, right? We're
Right.
working, but what I'm saying is that after you're done with work, what we can do now? This is how I see it. I can get on top of the roof of that RV and look at the same sky that I'm looking at here, because the issue that I was having
Damn
is
right.
that I have a good view right now. We're on the 6th floor overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, not that it's right in front of us,
Yeah.
but we have a really nice view of the sunset. And I was like, well, man, I'm going to miss this. But then this is the same sky. It's just looking, the moon is the
just
same.
perspective.
Yeah,
It's just
wherever
perspective
you're
where
at.
you're at.
Yep.
And that to me is, the biggest part of this lifestyle is the ability to change your surroundings whenever you want. One of the downsides is you got to give up a lot of creature comforts and a lot of amenities that, but you gain so much more fulfillment, in my opinion. You're damn sure going to gain some knowledge. Out of nowhere, you're going to become a fucking mechanic. Because
we're pros now. After the first day we purchased it.
Well, listen. All right, this is what happened. We went and we looked at this RV, and we've been looking at this RV, and we bought. People are gonna call us what they call us. Oh yeah, you guys are idiots or whatever. But you know what? Call me what you want to call me. I don't care. Because in the long run, I think we're gonna come out ahead anyway. But we bought an RV from Camping World as is, and. We went and saw it, and then we went there to try and get one, and the salesperson, Lucas, he was awesome. Lucas was, he just basically said to us that the only thing that he had was, something that was like, it was like $80,000, which is like way out of the way out of the ballpark.
Right, yeah. And so right when we were walking out, he was like, wait, let me go speak to the manager to see if there's anything, that we have in inventory. And luckily, there was one. It was not marked in inventory.
Yeah,
right? It was not marked in inventory.
It wasn't marked in inventory yet.
But then he was like, I can show it to you if you're interested. And we were like, yeah, sure. And so we went, we saw it, and we were like, oh.
Yeah, we rode out there. Yeah, we rode out there and we looked at it. It was actually like, and I expected it. He was like, it's a 2004. But I expected it to be like, okay, we're a little ratty, and we didn't. We didn't expect to see what we saw.
Yes. And then so we went in and, we're like, all right, it's cool. It's nice. It
was fantastic.
It is. It's nice. It's it's older, it's 2004, but the one thing is, it's clean. Whoever had it took really good care of it.
They really did, all the way down to when we looked underneath the bed at the manuals. They had a folder that they had kept of all the repairs that they had ever had, that they had ever made to it, any modifications that they made to it, like everything, detailed receipts, everything that they had ever done to that RV was in a organized, labeled book for us to kind of view, so we could kind of catch up on the history of what this thing had been through. So we felt very confident. In the first couple of times we jumped in, and it started right up. It started right up. And we went home and talked about it.
Yes. We actually, we created a worksheet, and we, did some analysis of rent versus RV living. And at this point, it came back that it was looking better to go ahead and purchase this RV versus renting, because they did increase our rent where we're currently living at.
They're increasing everybody's rent, and that's the whole thing. They're increasing everybody's rent, and nobody's paying you anymore. If they are, it's peanuts, it's pennies. It really is stupid. What they want people to, first, last, security, and then
then if you have dogs, you got to give them like your dog's eyeball. They want one of your dog's eyeball.
Yeah, it's just, they listen. It's so stupid and ridiculous. And this right here, I think, is how a lot of people are getting back at that market. And also, not for nothing, I'm not no doomsday prepper or nothing like that. But if some shit pop off, we could just leave.
We gone. Bye.
Want some poof out. Like, I'm not sticking around for what's happening. I'm just gonna get in my RV and head north or head south. It depends. It depends on how we feel in this day. But it's just I could not like pay these people one more, like, it's hard to show. And not for nothing, it's really my wife that handles the heavy lifting, and it seemed to make sense. She made a Excel spreadsheet. We sat here and talked about the pros and cons. She broke it down dollar by dollar. We watched 1,000,001 YouTube videos. And at the end of the day, we was just like, you know what? Maybe we want to give this a try. Maybe we could do it. How long do we think we could do it for? We don't really know, but
Right. I mean, I was nervous. I was emotional. I cried. He was like, "What's
yeah.
wrong with you? Are you okay?" And it's just a mix of emotions because, like I said, there's a lot of things you can't bring with you. So what do you do with these things? You put them in storage. That's fine. But I mean, it's different. And like I said, I'm nervous, but I'm ready. It's a challenge. And right now, the only thing that I'm working on is doing 3 buckets. One for maintenance, one for travel, and just one for
growth.
Yeah, growth.
What do you want to get out of this RV experience? What do you want to?
I want to get some adventure out of it, some memories, but then I also want to be able to, pay some debt.
Right.
I'm going to keep it real, pay some debt, and then save up for a house.
Right, and that's pretty much why we did it, because I think at this rate, we can, put together a substantial, conventional down payment where we don't have to use any of the programs to try and get beat out for a house, and we can actually come to the table prepared. And I think this is a good way for us to start accumulating some money and paying down some debt. Also, it's a great way to pay down debt. So,
and also you get to meet new people.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to go to a park and be like, hey, can you help us figure out what the hell's going on with our RV?
Yeah, and not for nothing, it's a big community. There's a lot of festivals, and it's really cool. And I'll tell you what we also have been looking for is I've found a list of RV parks that are owned by people of color, which is good for us because we have heard some stories on the road, because in case you missed it, we urban folks, what I'm saying, out here on the road where that is predominantly dominated by the white majority. So it's not that it's a bad thing, because I'm sure there are great people on the road, but we have heard instances, of people RVing while black being negative, like being shut out of, different parks, or, people being harassed on the road, or, questioned about their ability to afford their coach or whatever it is. But, I've committed to the fact that is not going to bother or deter us from choosing this lifestyle, because there are more than one place to do these, and there's millions of people doing this.
Right, and it also allows us to be closer to family, because right now, it's like I said, it's a tiny home on wheels, so we can just go. We have family in Orlando, we have family everywhere, and that's the good thing, because if we want to go visit our sisters in Orlando, we can do that. We can bring our dogs now and not be so worried about who's going to walk the dogs at 3 a.m. because we're out in the streets being some hot asses.
And see, that's really it too, because we have some animals, and that's the one thing about this RV. Now, let me finish the story.
Oh yeah.
So we get this RV, right? And we have a friend that decided that, we could keep it there at her house for a couple days in the driveway. So we checked out and jumped on the road, and we took the back roads because I didn't want to really necessarily take the highway right away. So we took the back roads, and man, it's as wide as the lane. I mean, like, one wrong move and your wheels are off the back, so you have to really kind of take your time with it. So I did it, 5 miles under the speed limit in most cases, just so I could maneuver and make sure that, everything was safe, and I was safe, and everybody around me was safe. And so I drove to our friend's house, and we got out, shut the engine off, went inside, hugged, our friend, and gave the little tour and said, okay, we're going to try and start it up and turn the air conditioner back off and on, and it didn't start up. And yeah, right after we got it, I had a total of, I don't even think it was 3 hours, babe.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think it was 3 hours, a total 3 hours. And every other time it had fired up, just no problem, just fired straight on up. And like I said, one of the things is we bought this coach as is.
But also, it's new to us, right? So we were like, oh, what did we leave on? Because that's another thing. We still do not know.
There's so many things that you have to take into consideration when you are, when this is your lifestyle. We have like a side out. You have to make sure you put the emergency brake down before you, bring the side out in. It really is.
You have to turn off all the lights.
Yeah,
it's not like being in your apartment where you just would be like, okay, I'm gonna leave this one light on and leave. Nope.
Nah, you got to turn it off. Otherwise, you'll come home to some dead batteries. Otherwise, you can also run the generator. Now, the generator, it's a pretty decent generator. Our generator needs to be serviced, and they told us that when we were looking at it. But it needs to be serviced, and that's fine. And we anticipated that there will be some upkeep with it. And also some. We got to make it ours.
It's like purchasing a home.
It really is like straight up purchasing a tiny house, a tiny home. The kitchen is awesome, really. The bathroom is cool. It's a little dated because it's a 2004 and it has like that grandma look, that beige like with
wallpaper.
Yeah, like florally patterny grandma look. So So we want to try to. We've been looking at YouTube videos on how to renovate them, and I tell you what, there's some people that are able to do some pretty amazing things with them, and we are, like I said, that's another thing that we're excited for. So,
yeah, because we can go ahead and do whatever we want to. We can like funk it up to our style.
Yeah, we could choose whatever couch we want. We could choose whatever we want. We could do whatever we choose we want to do with it, and that's the good thing about it. And I'll tell you what, it's a 2004, and we paid, we paid $21 for it. And that's what we're doing. And that, my friends, is what the fuck we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like I said, it's something that none of our friends have thought to do. I had one friend that like a long time ago that lived in a motorhome, and it was actually pretty cool. We went out in it pretty frequently, but none of my other friends was like, hey man. But my father used to take us camping when I was younger, and this is one of the reasons that it's that I think that it would be good, because I do have an affinity for traveling around and sightseeing and seeing things.
Well,
also.
This is wild business for me. This is my first time ever in an RV. And now I own one.
See, it was crazy because a couple of years ago, I turned 50, and we went camping. Actually, we went glamping because some friends of ours had rented a cabin out in the middle of the woods, and it was her first time out in the middle of primitive camping woods. But now, when I was younger, we used to go out there, but now, I looked at myself like, what the hell, was I crazy back then coming out here with all these creatures and monsters and shit like that? So now, this RV will enable us to have some good accommodations while we're out on the road or doing some other stuff. So
it should be good. It should be fun.
I think that it should be fun, and I am excited about it. I'm excited to do it with you. I think it's going to be fun, but I think the part that we need to probably worry about the most is the dog.
Oh yeah, now don't get it twisted. I'm nervous, but if I stay nervous and stressed out, what's that going to do? I'm not going to stress out about this. We're going to take it day by day.
Well, Anthony Robbins said stress is a code word for fear, so it's okay to be stressed out, and it's stressful, and that's the thing. We're getting ready to
embark on a new journey.
Listen, we are about to give up everything, brick and mortar, all the creature comforts of everything. Now, we have called around, and there are plenty of RV parks that will let us stay for days, weeks, months, even years. So there's a little bit out there for everybody.
And there's some really nice ones. There's some that let you, like he said, they'll let you stay. There's some with washer and dryer, like in the lot.
Yeah, they got like whole accommodations, pools, sheds. Some people, you can tell, like they even have them that you can buy the lots, where you can buy your little RV lot, which I think that's pretty awesome, that you could actually buy the lot to keep your RV, and you could do that in several places, So, I think that is that's a pretty good perk of owning an RV.
And another perk is that we can buy the state park passes here, the annual state park pass.
That's cool.
And then we can stay at all the state parks here. And then there's one here in where we're currently at in St. Petersburg, but it's called
It's called Fort DeSoto.
There we go. Struggling. Anyways, but that allows us to wake up and be at the beach. But I don't think we're able to like do all that fancy stuff of dumping our water.
Yeah, see, I don't think then that's the thing. There are some perilous things to owning an RV. One of those perilous things is the black water tank.
Get boo boo.
Yeah, okay. Boo boo. Like straight up boo boo. And but you can pay people to dump them. You can pay like at a RV park or a campground.
I'm trying to pay somebody to drive us around.
See, I ain't with that. I don't need no extra. I don't need nobody extra in my cabin. What you doing in my space, homie? Nah. You gotta keep it pushing, bro. I got this rig right here. So I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, look, it's either now or never. You can either, wish you would have done it, or you can do it. And
I like that, babe. That's true. You can say, I did it. I tried it. And if it worked out, great. If it didn't, you can say, listen, I tried it and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I mean, we could absolutely hate this shit like in a week, but we could absolutely love it. My sister said, that's what my oldest sister said. She said, you might not come back. You might love it.
An upgrade. Then we can upgrade. Who knows? This is why this is so interesting, because we don't know which way this is going to go. But I'm going to stay positive, and it's going to go, the best way possible.
I completely 100% agree that, like I said, there are going to be some perilous times ahead.
Of course. Guarantee
you. Yes, ma'am. But, I think it's nothing that we can't handle. We got we have some roadside assistance, if you want to call it that. Let me not be like that. It was not the company, because the dispatch, they did everything they were supposed to do. It was the contractor that they selected to come out.
Right. We did call them like at 10 p.m. When we weren't able to start the RV, and I called them at 10 p.m. They said they'll have somebody out in an hour. We waited. And an hour passed, and I was like, okay, what happened? I called, and they were like, oh, they said your technician's been out. And I was like, he didn't come out.
He didn't come out.
And I was like, that's crazy. So I called again. They were like, it's going to be another 60 to 90 minutes. I was like,
that shit is crazy, too.
I was like, all right. But I was calm. And when I'm calm, that's kind of scary, because that means deep down inside there's a monster waiting.
Babe, you was not calm.
I was. Was I?
No,
I thought
babe,
I was.
No, you wasn't. You was on some
I was
freaking.
hungry.
Listen,
First of all, I was hungry,
you
you
called these
guys.
people like 19 times.
I had to. So they finally came out.
Yes, you did.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they finally made it to where we were at 3 o'clock in the morning. We called these people at 10 o'clock. They said they'd be there in an hour. So, Good Sam's, we have already, that was day number 1. So, already.
I know, I was a little crazy. I was like, I don't know who the technician is, but he needs to get fired. Yeah. And Deron was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, she's coming for people jobs and shit. Like, they wanted to cuss the ladies out at the fucking dispatch. I was like, but you can't do that, because they've done their due diligence. They've done everything. Yeah. It's the technician. But finally, dude came out. It was hot. I just opened them. But see, while we sat there and waited, I opened the windows to the RV. I spun the passenger captain's chair around, and I leaned it all the way back and put my feet up and let the breeze. And it was quiet. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. And that, I mean, we fell asleep. We were in there like, well, this is what it's going to be like. So,
yeah.
We have to deal with it.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Just leave it there and walk away?
We can't. I mean, this is like one thing. It's our house now. And that's the thing that is sinking in. And, there's some preparations that we got to make. We got a whole apartment full of shit. We got a storage unit full of shit too, so, but like I said, we do have a support system, and what we're going to do is we're going to go spend some quality time with some family. We're going to go see my mom for a few months and help her do some things around, her property and try and be good people. And then after that, on to the next. So, what do you think? I mean, I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, we'll have some more conversation about alternative living. This is the Darren Harris Podcast.
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you, then sit back and enjoy the exceptional taste of Starbucks at home.
Hey folks, welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Darren Harris. I have my wife, Ivonne, here on the podcast today. And today we are talking about alternative living, like alternative living situations, like not the conventional home. We're not talking about an actual house. We're talking about a tiny house on wheels, or just a tiny house in general, just conventional living. And, you know, I was thinking about it, and I just wanted to ask some of the viewers, you know, and even if you want to comment on it, babe, I mean, like, what is your ideal? I mean, I know we just got this Class A, but what would be your ideal, you know, tiny living condition if you know, what would you like rather a tiny house or the RV, or, you know, is it?
I don't mind an RV. I like the one we have, but I would like to upgrade eventually. I mean, we've seen the 84K ones; those are nice.
Right.
You know.
Some of the newer coaches are, yeah, true. That's true. Some of the newer coaches are beautiful.
And because they have washer and dryer, I mean, it's things that I think about, because now I was like, now I'm going to have to go to the laundry or just wash my panties by hand.
Well, I mean, hey. Oh, I get the headphones down, babe? Oh, you don't want them no more?
So you can hear yourself.
Yeah, see, now you can't hear yourself. Now, see, I can hear myself. We're over here debating whether or not we can hear ourselves, but yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I think that anybody who wants to get into this lifestyle, you definitely want to do as much research as you possibly can. If you have the money to go new, great. You know, there are some stipulations because we have a 2004 and some RV parks have age restrictions on the RVs. And really what I think it is they just don't want people with they ran down shit rolling up into the RV park.
I mean, it makes it look ugly. It's kind of like if you're living in a neighborhood and the house down the street or around the corner is just like the most ratchet looking house. That's the same thing with an RV.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. I mean, people is like, yo, man, come on now. Pick up your grass, like on some house. But in an RV, you know, I mean, you know, some people could be, you know, coming in there with the most wild out RV that you've seen, or like some super old, you know, I mean, like, you know, don't get me wrong. You pull in there in an Airstream, which, you know, the 1960s Airstream is still dope, you know, but you pull in there in some 88 winter, you know, not winter, like maybe some sort of Bounder or something like that, then people might be like, all right, bruh, that is a way out of style. I think that's really kind of what it is.
Or a pop-up one. We just saw a pop-up one.
Yeah, pop-up campers are cool, but you know what the thing about pop-up campers, man, is my father used to have one, and he took us to Colorado. He took us to Estes Park, Colorado when we was kids, and it was summertime. It was like the middle of July. It was the summertime, and it was nighttime and everybody was going to bed. I called myself going to sleep in my underwear. Man, come on, man. About 11:30, my toes turned into some straight up popsicles. I was like, yo, what is happening out here? So the next time we went, I actually slept in the van. But like, listen, the first, I didn't know that the mountains, the temperature dropped like it did. I mean, it dropped to like, it was like 85, 90 degrees during the day, and it straight up dropped down to like 44 at night. I was out there in my drawers suffering. You know, so, you know, you live and you learn. So, you know, like I was saying before, if you think this lifestyle might be for you, do lots of research. Make sure you do lots of research because, you know, like I said, it was either this or it was a boat. And a boat, there's much more upkeep with a boat, so we kind of ruled against it right now. But it's not, you know, completely out of the thing. But make sure you do your research on whatever nomadic lifestyle that you want to choose, because this is going to be, like I said, a very nomadic lifestyle with the dogs and everything. Got to get rid of all this.
It's gonna be like this now.
Yeah, we got to get rid of all the scratching. before we get on the RV, and it's gonna be tight, especially with a 178-pound Great Dane. So, looking forward to that. Hey, man, calm it down over there. So this guy's going nuts on his balls.
For your audience that's trying to figure out how they'll know more about our story as we go along this journey, you're gonna keep them posted here.
Yeah, I mean, we are. This is my wife Ivonne, and she also has a podcast called Intimate with Ivonne. Now she has 8 episodes, but she is actually going to have some new episodes coming up here soon. But the two of us have a podcast and perhaps a program that we're planning on launching called Everywhere with Ivonne and Deron. So we are definitely, that is in the works. So stay tuned for that. I will let everybody know when they can tune into that. And it's just basically going to be our, come on, dog. Anyway, it's just going to be
Us and our ratchet dogs.
Yeah, and our fucking hoopty ass RV.
Oh, don't talk about her like that. Don't.
She's not a hoopty. Actually, she's like I said,
very pretty.
Listen, for a 2004, that is on some straight up, I mean, like real talk, like good shape. I think it's, like I said, I think it's just a battery. Maybe you get a battery replacement and that fixes it. Either that or the alternator. And, you know, if it's an alternator issue, that's generally a pretty decent, good fix anyway. You can get away, with a pretty reasonable price. But I'm not sure about, what it is in an RV. So
yeah, and right now the best thing we can do is just park it at an RV park,
Right.
and just let it sit there, live
right.
our life, and figure it out as we go.
And that's exactly right. And that's exactly, we've called around. And I'm going to tell you what, this is one of the reasons that this made so much sense to us. Now, we bought this RV, and if you don't mind me, babe, I'm just going to tell them how much we pay about $400 for it per month. I'm not sure exactly, to the penny what it is, but it's around $400 that we pay for it, for the RV. Now, we've called a few RV parks, and they're actually extremely reasonable. In the area that we are in right now, we found a couple. We found one really good one, and their rates are $600 a month for the RV space, which includes the power hookup. It also includes the sewer hookup and the water hookup. So you are fully connected for $650 a month, and you can, I think, pay another $30 a month to have cable. And in that park, I do believe they have a pool, and they also have a laundromat. So I think that in the realm of things, $600 plus $400. I mean, you don't take a rocket scientist to figure out that.
You're right, that's a good choice. Also, you have to take in consideration insurance.
Yeah.
So we have insurance on top of that.
Yeah, because it can't be nowhere uninsured. So, it's always got to have some insurance on it. So that's one thing that we had to scramble around and get that taken care of, and we got that taken care of at the very last minute. So that we could actually drive it off the lot. And I test drove it a few days ago, and Ivonne drove it about 25 yards so far.
Yeah, okay. And, well, I was going to drive it, out the lot. And I did, almost halfway there, a little bit.
Listen, you drove 25 yards.
Well, what happened is that I went to hit the brake, to shift gear, and I hit I hit the parking brake, and then I didn't know how to take it out. And I was like, "Help me!" And then that was it. It was over. I was like, "I'm over it."
So you choked out and panicked. She was like, "Yeah, I could drive it." So we are definitely.
Well, in my defense, I drove a budget truck, the biggest one from Chicago to Florida.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
And it's about the same size, a little bit bigger.
Well, let me tell you the inherent difference between a Class A RV and a budget truck. The budget truck, the front of it looks like a pickup truck. And the front of a Class A RV is straight flat.
Like a bus. Oh, and real quick, I want to give a shout out to all the bus drivers, because when I drove this RV, I was like, wow, these bus drivers have to drive with people in there, kids screaming.
Yeah, damn right.
Ew.
Yeah, listen, shout out to the bus drivers in New York City, too, though, because them dudes be on some, listen, I've had some bus drivers that you like, yo, is this a bus or an airplane, dude? Because you flying, bruh.
Yeah, because listen, if I'm driving this thing and the dogs are back there barking, I'm going to choke them out, because I can't do that. I won't be able to do that. So yeah, shout out to all the bus drivers in New York, Chicago, wherever you're at. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Cause that,
sorry for when the kids were acting real wild, or
Yeah, for real, even like the school bus drivers, man. That's a big job, man, for them to be, pulling these things around. You know what I mean? So, definitely shout out to them for getting their skills on, and shout out to all the truck drivers with the CDLs, because I'm gonna tell you what, this thing is as wide as the lane. You have very, very, very very little room for error.
You can't be in the country pointing at the cow, because if you look over to that cow, you're going to be over there with the cow.
Cows. Yeah, man, it didn't take nothing. It didn't take you. I mean, you got to keep both hands on the wheel. You can't be like, you can't be on the lean back like on some gangster lean with it. You can't even do that.
No texting.
Yeah, you definitely, texting is out. I'm not texting nobody. Don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? But the cool shit about it is you could ride down the street and well, not me, but she could ride down the street, or I could be driving, and she can lay down and watch TV, or take a nap, or like a real nap, and lay all the way out, provided I don't flip this motherfucker over. Which I
have to choke you.
No, it won't happen. But it is actually the Winnebago that we have is actually very, very safe.
I was about to say, they also said that after about between 30 minutes to 60 minutes driving it, you'll get comfortable. But is that accurate?
Hell no. I drove that shit for like an hour and change, and I am no less afraid now as I was then. Although I did park the shit out of it though.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. Backed it up into the driveway, and, perfect. Not on the grass. As a matter of fact, it was 4 a.m. He was all bothered. He was like, I have to fix it because it's a little crooked. Sir, we're tired. We just need some rest. And he was like, no, I have to fix it. So good job. Good job, babe.
Thank you very much. Well, it meant a lot to me because I didn't want her to, her neighbors to be on some like, you're on my grass and you got to get your recreational vehicle off of my grass. I didn't want that. So, I wanted to make sure that
mind your business.
Well, if you on their fucking grass, that is our fucking grass. But now, I put it in the driveway, so they calm it down.
Yeah, actually, I think they're impressed. I know everybody probably goes out there, or yesterday morning when they went out there, like, hey, wow, who did that?
Yeah, goddamn right, because it was it was a hell of a park job. So, I'm thoroughly impressed with myself. So.
Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. Why let those dishes pile up? Dawn Dish Spray cleans them super fast. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Baby's taking a nap. Clean those bottles in a snap. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Dawn Dish Spray, it's a spray for your dishes. Scoopy mess in a blender. Clean it easy, clean it fast. Just spray, wipe and rinse. Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. How's it work again? Just spray, wipe and rinse.
Well, what else do we have anything else you want to talk about? Anything as far as you want to give them any advice when they're shopping around? You want to,
yeah, my advice is one, I would say first, I would suggest do what I did, which is budget, or, just run some numbers, see what's best for you. And then, yeah, like Deron said, watch a lot of videos. We have been watching a lot of videos. There's a lot of, we're going to try to see. We've heard that there's some groups on Facebook that we can join, and people like us, and we're beginning. So if any of the viewers, are listening and they've done this, please, by all means, reach out.
Absolutely.
Help.
Yeah, help. Yeah, any help that could be offered would be greatly appreciated. You could drop a message in my DM if you have any advice, any of that. You could drop a message straight in my DM if you guys are RVers or anybody who's already on the road or anybody who's thinking about getting on the road. If you have any questions, you want to know a reputable place to get one, any good videos to watch, get in touch with me, and I will, I'll let you know exactly who I watched, what I watched to get me ready to do this. And there are some things. My friend and producer, he said, oh, man, I woke up out of a dead sleep to tell you one thing. I said, what's that? Buy RV-only toilet paper. Yeah, there's like specific shit now. So, you can't really just go to Walmart and pick up toilet paper. There's a lot of specifics to it. So, and you can screw up your RV and you can screw up the park and, be that guy. So you don't want to be that dude. So, very, very important to pay attention and do your research and read. Very important. Very, very, very important. It is paramount. As a matter of fact, it is not anything to be taken lightly. This is not light.
Yeah, it isn't. And if you're planning to really use it and drive around, you have to have some patience on this road, and if you don't have it, I'm just going to say it right now, do not get this, because you're going to be on the road. And like he said, it's pretty big, it's a big vehicle, and you got to deal with these dumbasses out here. So you have to be ready.
You got to calm it down, and you have to. Well, the good thing about an RV is it does sometimes command some respect on the road. People have a tendency to kind of slow down. They might go around you.
I saw I saw a few people cut you yesterday, and I was
a few people tried to cut me, but some people, there was one person that cut me off, but everybody was just trying to get around me.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I'm this dude. The speed limit is 55, I'm doing 50. The speed limit is 45, I'm doing 40. And that's just the way it is, because I don't want to sling things around. And like I said, you could leave the lane really quickly. You could run out of space real fast. And I'm not really trying to do that and have everything in my house,
right.
projected towards the front at me while I'm driving. I'm not trying to crash it. So I'm just going to take my time. And, the first thing that you need to know about me, folks, is your hurry is not my worry. So I'm not going to speed. I'm not getting out the way. I ain't doing none of that shit. So, take your time and relax, and we'll all get there alive together. So, got anything else, babe?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, folks, I think this is going to do it for this episode of the Deron Harris Podcast. Thank you very much, babe, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, can I get some treats?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, see. Yeah, I think I got to go, y'all. The treats are here for a limited time only, so I need to get me some treats while I can. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to my podcast, and if you're listening through the whole thing, I appreciate it. If you're not, I get it. I understand they're kind of lengthy, but thank you for tuning in anyway. Who else? Anybody else I want to thank?
Yes, your producer.
Oh, I was going to thank our salesman.
Oh, that kind of thank you. Yes, our salesmen, our people that are cheering us on. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you to all my friends that have given us positive encouragement, all my friends and family, and also the people who haven't, the people who have been nervous for us. I want to thank you for that too, because it shows that they care about our well-being.
I'm nervous too.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. We all are. So, but it does show that they care about our well-being, and for that, we do appreciate you, and hopefully we won't disappoint you. We won't, give you, won't stress you out to level 10. It'll be all good, and you can come hang out with us.
Right.
So, like you said, I'd like to thank my producer. I'd like to thank my best friend for making it possible, and all the listeners. You have just listened to the Deron Harris Podcast. Tune in next week. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be talking about next week, but tune in anyway. I don't give a damn. So this has been the Deron Harris Podcast. Thank you very much, and ciao for now. Peace.